Good afternoon. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You know, Phil and I are farmers now, and I love the farm life. I almost feel like Green Acres. I feel like I'm Eddie Albert, who just loves to watch his seed grow and just really gets into it. I really do love it. And so I also love technology. So I have found a website, masschallenge.org, and they're talking about the innovation, the agriculture innovation. It's 10 tech trends to watch in 2023. So I'm really interested in this. So let's go ahead and dig in. If you're a farmer, or maybe you're not a farmer, you just want to have a garden, that's fine. This is going to really interest you. So let's go ahead and stay tuned. Now they're saying by 2050, the demand for food will surge 70% in line with rapid population growth. And the UN study also found about 9.9% of the world's population still goes hungry. So the thought of feeding almost 10 billion mouths is a daunting prospect. There's no kidding, really. With environmental changes hard to predict, we must turn to innovation in agricultural technologies. So they're saying, so let's just dig a little bit and see what they're talking about. Now, thankfully, the signs so far offer hope. We don't have to wait 3 decades to see how innovative agricultural solutions can influence human life in the future. So let's go ahead and dig in just a little bit more, okay? First of all, I think we all need to be farmers to a certain extent, okay? We really need to. Bee vectoring technologies. You know, we're beekeepers. That's part of being a farmer as well. And I'm beginning to see more and more people move away like we did from the big city, and they're looking for farms where we can use technology and we can also have greater yields. My idea is I just love to give people food. So let's dig in a little more. Okay, now when it comes to U.S. crop production, honeybees are worth $20 billion. These insects are essential to human survival, so there is increasing innovation in agricultural equipment to help protect bees and maximize their pollination capabilities. Now, BVT uses commercially reared bees to deliver targeted crop controls through pollination, replacing, yeah, thank God for this, replacing chemical pesticides with its environmentally safe crop protection system. Now, we do not use pesticides here on this farm. Everything we do is natural. Although it can get a little bit daunting to find the right fit for you and your farm, and everything has a play here. We're in the South, we're in Alabama, where we have extremely high heat. We have extremely low heat. As a matter of fact, sometimes we say we don't have a fall or a spring. We go from hot to cold, sometimes all 4 seasons in one day. So it can present an issue trying to find the right way to farm. Now, the system doesn't require spraying water or the use of tractors. Instead, the scientifically designed bumblebee hive allows bees to pick up a trace amount of pest control powders on their legs to spread as they travel within the field. Now, this innovation in agriculture technology supports improved sustainable farming, crop yield, and soil quality. Now, BVT solution is suitable for many crops, including blueberries. I love my blueberry trees. Sunflowers, apples, and tomatoes. It also works for farms of all sizes. So even a small farm, like I'm considered a small farmer. 38 acres of land is not a huge farm. I mean, when I was living in Charlotte, I thought it was. I still do, kind of. But you know what we're talking about. Now, let's talk about number 2, precision agriculture. Precision agriculture is an agricultural resource management strategy that collects, processes, and evaluates data and offers insights to help farmers optimize and increase soil quality and productivity. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, whether you're a backyard gardener or you own a big farm, you need to get soil tests done. Go to your county extension office here in DeKalb County. Is located in Fort Payne, and also through Auburn University is where everything is sent. So knowing whether your land has the soil is acidic, or is it sandy, is it clay type? You need to know those things. It's really, really important to know. So I know some of my neighbors up in the northern end of DeKalb County in Mentone have issues with clay. Mine is on the other end of the spectrum, where it's extremely sandy, and which means that water can just sit. Now, in clay, they also have something kind of the same issue, but you need to know those things. Now, I have to tell you, Auburn University is really good at giving you alternatives. How can you handle that? How can you handle your soil is clay? How do you handle it sandy? So I got lots of recommendations about that, because the pH balance of the soil is extremely important in order to grow fruits and vegetables, okay? Now, management decisions count on precision, okay? On agricultural data points to improve farmland and farm produce across several key areas, including resource use efficiency, sustainability, profitability, productivity, and quality. So let's dig a little bit more into these, okay? So this innovation in agriculture technology uses big data to aid management decisions, enabling farmers to control crop yield variables like moisture level. And it's important. We know that from being here. Soil condition and microclimates to maximize output. Now, it relies on remote sensing systems. Drones, did you know there are farmers who use drones, robotics, and automation to improve crop health and optimize agricultural resources, leading to more profitability and productivity? Now, Grandview Research projects that the global precision market farming will hit 16.35 billion by the year 2028, growing at a 13.1% CAGR. The organization believes increasing government support and the growing need for efficient crop health monitoring will drive market growth. I want to keep the government actually out of mine. I really do. But I do read up and I do listen to farmers. That's my best source right there. I want to listen to a farmer who's really made it happen. And I have to tell you, I went to a group of us were taking our classes and through Auburn University. And so we got to go on a project helping a farmer prune his muscadines. And he let us take these limbs with us, and the cuttings with us. And so not only did he do that, he taught us how to root it. And I'm going to have to tell you, I took about 14 different of the little clips that we took off. And so he said, this is what you need to do immediately. Go ahead and put them in water, okay? No roots, okay? These were just cuttings of muscadines. He said, you need to get a rooting compound, and he said, you can find it at the Farmer's Co-op, about $5, $6. And he said, it will last you almost an eternity because you're going to use such a small amount of it. So I'm like, because I'm one of those, when I bake chocolate chip cookies, instead of using 1 cup of chocolate chips, I do 2 cups. So I just kind of do that. I'm just, that's my personality. So I thought, no, he knows more than I do. He's been doing farming for a very, very long time, and he's very successful at it. If he said dip it in there, that's all I'm going to do. And he also said you need to kind of tap off, get a little bit of the extra out of it, okay? I did that. Guess what? Every single one of those came up. It's 14. So I went on ahead, and I keep them watered now, okay? But I'm at the point now where I can clip off some of it and I can root more off of what I've got. Did the same thing with my raspberries. So I found where the knolls are on a raspberry, and you can find all this stuff on the internet too. Just find knolls for raspberries and for all kinds of vine type plants. Okay, that's raspberries, blackberries, and also your muscadine grapes. So what you do is you cut at the knoll, on top of the knoll. Now you want to leave a knoll for root growth, okay? Doesn't need to be a great big long root system. Doesn't need to be a long stem. Just a small one is all you need. And then guess what? All of that growth energy is going to go into that one. Now, also your muscadines, and I'm so glad that I was taught this year. Your muscadines are going to grow. You need them to, you're going to cut off everything down at the bottom, okay? And this is when you're pruning it. And I didn't realize, but when you have a farm, you're constantly pruning all through the growing season as well. So what you're doing is cutting off the ones that are not working. You just cut those off. And then all of that energy and growth will go into two, which are going to go like this and on to wherever you have them planted. You need to make sure you got some good sturdy growth hormones there as well. But anyway, that's just something I learned, and it's meant a lot. I can turn right around and I can sell these, okay? These muscadines. And they're those great old big nice ones too, by the way. Okay, now let's talk. We need to go ahead and go into a commercial break. We're hitting pretty close to halfway through the show. Let's go into a commercial break, and we will be right back in just a few minutes. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. Okay, we are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IEC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundance Television. We are syndicated there. They're found on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Also find the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. netnewsnetwork.net. If you don't want to know what the truth is, you don't want to listen to this podcast bunch, but I'm going to tell you what, there's some awesome talk show hosts on there. We're talking about farming and technology, and I love both. I mean, I came from the technical world, Phil and I used to own an internet company, a dial-up, years ago. This is back when there was dial-up. We sold it to Highway out of Huntsville, Alabama. So anyway, that was a good time to be in the business, and then I started working for a cell phone company. Back in the day, it was called Contel. Then it went to Cellular One, and then GTE bought them out, Verizon. So I went through several buyouts there. So I love technology. So the whole idea of having a farm and having technology helping you grow that farm means a lot. I know a guy who has chicken houses. Now, chicken houses back in the day, if you owned chicken houses, you were married to it. You could not go anywhere on vacation. You could not be gone longer than a day at a time. So what's really cool about owning a chicken house now, they have apps that are on your cell phone. And so it will let you know when the temperature is going down. Maybe it's too cold. Maybe it's getting too hot in there for the chickens. All this really great stuff is done on your cell phone now. They're able to also automate the temperature inside a chicken house. Let's say I go to the mountains and Phil and I are going away for the weekends, and I get an alert. It's telling me that the chicken house is getting a little bit too hot in there. I can just fix that dial right there on the cell phone with my app on there. So I'm just loving it. Now let's talk about number 3. And this is indoor vertical farming. And so this was a really good, I've had such an amazing time with hydroponics. I wish I had done this sooner. So the average yield, now this is according to masschallenge.org. So the average yield of rice is between 3 and 6 tons. However, farmers don't have to face this limitation when they're using indoor vertical farming. I'm so glad I did this. This indoor vertical farming grows farm produce stacked above another in a closed, controlled environment. Now, the technology uses growing shelves mounted vertically to increase crop yield in limited spaces. Quite often, the shelves don't require soil. They're either hydroponic or they're aeroponic. Let's talk about that, because I'm going to get into aeroponics next year. Okay, my husband is in there going, she's going to do that too. Yes. You have to have a controlled environment sometimes. Let's talk about it. Now, hydroponics is a gardening practice that grows plants in water in nutrient solutions. And so you can tell by looking at the leaves what kind of nutrient it's going to need. And it's really very cost effective to use hydroponics. So I use about 4 gallons of water, and it goes through, it's got a pump, and so it goes all the way up the pipe, and then it goes down to, I've got 3 different pipes, and Phil put this together for me, by the way. Don't I have a great husband? So he put those together. There are 3 PVC pipes on the top, 3 on a shelf under it, another 3 on another shelf. So there are 4 levels of PVC pipe. So there are holes driven in each one, and that's where you put the seedling and something that looks almost like a cork. it's you just put the seed in it, and then you put that. You got to make sure it stays damp. There are things I've learned about hydroponics. In other words, don't put beans in there. Let me tell you why. You're better off to sprout your beans instead of putting them in the hydroponics. So there are how many? There are 14 of the little holes that have been cut in each pipe. Okay, so there are 3, 6, 9, 12. There are 12 pipes, PVC pipes, and then each one has a hole in it. So what happened is on just one PVC pipe, I just wanted to test it out and see how it would work. I put beans, okay? The bean seed on the far right-hand side did great. I mean, roots were huge. I mean, this thing, but the problem was it was just too big for its britches. So what it was doing was keeping fantastic water away from the other seedlings. So if I do it next year, I'm going to try another experiment. What I'm going to do is, as it's growing and as it starts growing, what I'm going to do is move it to the other side, and then I'm going to put in another bean seed. Because I'm going to tell you what, this bean has just went nuts. I mean, the roots on this thing are already like this. I had to take it out of the hydroponics and put it in a pot like really fast. I was afraid it would die if I didn't do it. So what I think I'm going to do, maybe one bean seed at a time, and then that'll probably help at production time anyway. So I'm going to try that, and I'll let you know how that works out. Now, that's hydroponics. That's using water. Oh, and by the way, I told you it's very cost effective. I'm using 3, maybe 4 gallons of water, and I just change the water out about every 3 days because I'm thinking, man, this thing's going to my water bill is going to be $200 a month. It's not. That's not true. So anyway, about every 2 to 3 days, I'll go ahead and take the bucket and empty it. I clean it out with vinegar, and just a little bit. It only takes about a 1/4 cup. And so I put the vinegar in the pot after throwing the water out, and I use a galvanized steel bucket, and then I just clean it. Doesn't take a lot of cleaning. You don't want green funky stuff growing on that thing, okay? Because this is nutrients going into your plants, into your seeds. So I clean it. I just fill it up with more water, put it back under there and under the spout. It's in the spout. It goes through all of the system, and then the water just goes into the spout, into the bucket. So that's how it works. No big deal. You can buy seeds a lot cheaper than you can buy plants, okay? The only plants I have are what Cheryl Baker from Baker Farms. I got some plants from her. And she had a few weird stuff that I didn't have. So thank you, Cheryl, for always being there for me. And so that's all I did. Now let's talk about aeroponics. That suspends the roots of the crops in the air with emitters intermittently spraying them with water and nutrients. I'm going to try that next year. Okay, so indoor vertical farms enables growers to control variables such as light, temperatures. We've had a really, really weird, this worked out for me this year. We've had a really strange spring. It's been like mostly cold and rainy, like cold. Okay, I remember the year I graduated from high school in 1977. Everybody was getting a suntan like in early March before they went on the school trip. I didn't go, but anyway, everybody was getting a tan. It was warm outside. It has been the absolute coldest, but I was able to control that through my hydroponics system. Okay, I urge everybody to get that. Okay, so you just spray them with water and nutrients. I'm going to try that. Now, indoor growers, you can control a few things, such as the light. I have lights. Just all it is, you can just get these little shop lights and then plug those into the wall and have them going down. You know, it can't be like really, really close to the plant because it's going to burn them. But there's light and there's some heat that goes there as well. So you control using light, temperature, water, and sometimes carbon dioxide levels, allowing them to get healthier and bigger yields. And I'm telling you, because I just went to a gardening supply place today, a tomato plant was $10. It's went up. It's the supply versus demand. We're in some kind of a recession going on here. So the price of everything has went up ridiculous. So doing it yourself and growing seeds, that's the way to do it. And then you can save your own seeds as well. Okay, now other benefits include 70%, I told you about the water usage. So water using hydroponics, the technology of that includes 70% less water usage, which conserves energy and reduced labor costs due to the use of robots for harvesting and planting. But we don't use robots. I guess I'm the robot that's used out there. So, but I'm telling you what, it's super fun to have your own garden and grow. We're going to have another and we'll go ahead and start talking about it just a little bit. So we're going to have part 2 of the show about livestock farming technology. Man, there's so much out there. So emerging livestock technologies provides farmers with data-driven insights, allowing them to streamline farm management, improve animal care, and boost productivity. So we're going to be talking about some of those many innovations that are redefining livestock farming. I mean, there's so many wonderful things out there right now. And and let me tell you something. So we have cattle on the farm as well. And so utilizing, I mean, everything goes in a circle, okay? I mean, one thing feeds another thing. When Phil cuts the grass, he has a grass cutter behind him, and it collects the grass. And so what we do is we put it into our bin with all of our food scraps and all this kind of stuff, and it is making some incredible soil. So some of the grass cuttings and cardboard and things like that we had last year is making this recycling of that is just really good, rich soil for your garden, because we don't have that because of our sandy soil we have right here on the farm. And it's good for livestock. They keep everything fertilized out on the farm. We also have chickens, and we use the chicken poop, in it as well. Now you got to be really careful on the amount you use. So this is how we do this. We use what we call the lasagna method, okay? And so what we'll do is the grass cuttings, Phil started out with grass cuttings. He started putting that in there. And they need to really be brown. So what you're doing is mixing green and brown together. And then that turns into really good soil. So another brown thing we'd use is cardboard. I save cardboard. People give me cardboard. I'm begging for cardboard. But let me tell you a really easy way to do it. You need to really tear it. And a lot of folks have said, I really don't tear mine. I just kind of throw it in the compost pile. But I like to tear mine. So this is what I do. I leave it out in the rain. Okay, it looks kind of like a mess out in the backyard. When I know we're going to have some rain, I throw that cardboard out there. And it's also close to our block garden as well. So what I'll do is I'll leave it out in the rain, and it's so much easier to tear it than to get scissors and cut it. Your hands will be so tired if you're cutting all that cardboard, because I use a lot of it. So we're doing the spaghetti method. So Phil puts the grass cuttings, it's a big bin, by the way. He built it himself. I think it's probably, I don't know, about 12 foot long, maybe by about 4 feet. So it's quite the bin. And so we're beginning to have quite a few of those out in because we got 38 acres, we can put it out there now. And so down goes the grass, and then I get the cardboard and I cut it up in pieces. We put our food scraps. Now, it can't be anything animal, okay? It's got to be like vegetables, your potato cuttings, and stuff like that. That goes in there. You got to give it a good stir every once in a while. And it attracts worms, and worms are your best friend when it comes to the gardening part. People actually make a tea out of some of this stuff too. And then we got the bees going on too. You can do this. It's going to cost you a little bit to get started, but it pays off, and you're going to wind up having the most awesome gardening. Now we're going to come back for segment 2, and we're going to be talking about livestock farming technology as well. Okay, farming and technology, that makes it work. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll be back with another segment shortly.